Welcome to Fun Palais Podcast, where we are unpacking opinions and changing destinations. I am your host, Sherley, where each week we will chat about how to rise strong out of all types of obstacles that come with relationships. Through personal life experiences and discussions ranging from infidelity, trust, forgiveness, sex, heartbreak, self-love, and so much more. I am passionate and obsessed to provide guidance to every woman to create a better life. Let's dive in, pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. With me, your virtual girlfriend. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Fun Palais Podcast. I am excited to be here today, and we are going to be doing our first anonymous story. As those of you who have been listening and have already heard me saying that if you want to share your story, definitely go to the website. And there are two choices and two ways that you can share your story. You could either come on air and we can speak about it together, or you can share your information anonymously and no one has to know who you are, because regardless how you choose to share your story, you are still a beacon of light to somebody that is going through something in tough times and trying situations. So today we do have a anonymous person who reached out to me. So we are not going to share name or location. I'm just going to start reading their story and just give a little feedback. And of course, as you guys listen, you could definitely comment on the website or even have the discussion amongst your friends with yourself. Again, as you're listening to this episode, drinking your glass of wine, and hopefully it will definitely provide some encouragement and just an eye-opener to realize that relationships are not perfect. There are hard times. There are trying times. There are days where you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I going through what I'm going through? But we're going to start with the story today. I was always overweight and very shy. I think I am autistic as my son has autism, and I see so much of myself in him. But anyway, I was molested by my cousin at a young age. I was confused, and I did not admit it until much later in life. In school, I was very scared and unsure of myself. I knew I was smart, but I didn't know how to make friends. Fast forward to senior year in high school, I was so depressed that I cut myself to feel release. I voluntarily went to a psych ward because I wanted comfort so badly. I went back to the psych ward as a young adult. I took a bottle of pills to ignore the pain of not finishing college and having bills piling up. I met my dream man in 2004. However, he stole guns from my father and cheated on me with men and women. Moving forward, I had a job at the courthouse. It was a dream job because I had benefits, which I needed because I was diagnosed as bipolar, OCD, and add PTSD to that. But they were so mean to me. I cried every day going to work. I went out on disability to take care of my mental health, and on return, they accused me of stealing. The EEOC said I had grounds for a lawsuit, but I was so scared. I lived in my car after that because I was evicted. That's the simple story, as I actually randomly won 30 grand at a casino in the meantime. But anyway, I was homeless with my boyfriend and my dog. I stole food, slept in my car. Hurricane Sandy came and supplies were low and hotel prices were high. We moved to Lancaster County and I found out I was 6 months pregnant. I didn't even think I could get pregnant because of my PCOS, but I was. I figured out ways to get money every day and didn't tell my parents until I went into labor. I had a beautiful, healthy boy and soon got an apartment. Times were hard. I was sick of working shitty blue-collar jobs and went back to school. My son didn't speak until he was 4. He has autism, and I believe I do too. We finally worked our way up to a 3-bedroom home. I was so grateful that I took in a college classmate who aged out of the foster system and didn't have anywhere to go. I took him in against my boyfriend's wishes, but in the end, he trashed my home, hit my face, and left me alone with a stranger who sexually assaulted me. I'm doing okay, and I'm graduating soon, but it's a lot to take in. So that was the short version of the story. And there's a lot to process from this story, and what we're going to assume right now is that this person is doing very well and that things have changed drastically. And with a brief conversation I had with this person, I can definitely confirm that things have changed and they are doing actually very, very well right now. This story was actually quite a few years ago, and life has made a major 360 for them. And there's a lot to take in from this story. Number one, we have the mental health issue. And this is the reason why I consistently stress, and I'm a serious advocate of what I speak about, because even me myself, actually, I'm going to be starting therapy soon, both for individual reasons and also for relationship reasons. And this is why I stress enough that our mental health is just as important in self-care. We might be worried about getting our nails done, getting our feet done, getting a massage, and making sure we go to our yearly appointment for our family physician, but we never focus on our mental health. And our mental health is extremely, extremely important. People, we have to stop holding everything in and acting as though we are the only one out here going through problems and no one else is having issues. Sometimes life fucking sucks and you need to talk things out with someone. You may not want to talk to your friend because some of the information you have to share might be too personal, and maybe your friend is not going to give you maybe a biased opinion. But you need to talk to somebody because holding all this information in is not good. So in this situation, we had the mental health issue and the person started cutting themselves because they were depressed, they were unhappy, and they really, truly at that point in time in their life just didn't have anybody to turn to. And then when you have your partner who's cheating on you with both men and women, how do you even, number one, infidelity sucks. And as a woman, what I can say is, I don't know how I would even be able to handle the situation if I ever found out my partner was cheating on me, not only with women, but with men as well. That's a lot to take in. The good ending about this story is that they are still together. So they were able to work things out, figure it out, and rebuild their relationship. And that brings me so much joy because I love to hear when couples are able to work their relationships out. I don't like when a relationship breaks up. And I'm talking about real life relationships. I'm not even talking about reality TV. So take that out your mind because reality TV is a whole nother topic of itself. I'm talking real life shit, real people living real life. I don't like to see people break up, but I will tell you this, a breakup doesn't have to be seen as a negative. People change. That is one thing that is consistent in life is change. We're constantly evolving people. We're constantly changing. The person I was at 15 is not the person that I am now at 38. Life has changed me. Some traumatic situations that I've been through have changed me. Growth has changed me. My whole outlook in life is different from how I saw it when I was 15. We can't always put a negative connotation on change. Change is a good thing. And we evolve as people. Sometimes the person you were with when you were younger, there's a strong possibility the person you are now 20 plus odd years later, maybe they can't handle that. Maybe they don't know how to cater to you how they used to cater to you when you were younger. You know, life is such a great thing. And as human beings, we make it harder than it absolutely needs to be. We make our relationships harder. We complain about things that we shouldn't complain about when many times we have the power and the decision to make changes, but we don't do them. I'm a big advocate in everything that I speak of, even me in my own life. Sometimes I sit back and say, Shirley, you do have more control than you play that you do. But I don't exercise my control all the time. And we're quick to complain. We're quick to say what someone's not doing. But sometimes, being uncomfortable is what you have to do. Walk away from a negative situation. Because if whatever's meant to be is meant to be, believe me, it will be. And what is not for somebody will not be for them. Because God's not going to give you what's not for you. So, the one piece of advice I wanted to say, I want to, number one, thank our anonymous writer for writing in and sharing that story with us, because there's a lot to digest in that story. But even though it's just a small snippet of that person's life, it just goes to tell you that we are able to change our life completely. This person is not homeless anymore. They are still with their significant other. They have a growing son who is doing great. Life has majorly changed for them, and they both are absolutely thriving and doing wonderful. And that is the good part of the story, But this story right here just goes to tell you during the negative times, don't allow them to break you, because God's not going to give you anything that you truly cannot handle. Life can be a bitch sometimes, but no pain lasts forever. Eventually, that pain is going to go away, and we have to always constantly remember that things are going to get better. Stay positive and always keep a good mental health. I cannot stress enough how important therapy is, and to speak to someone when you're going through something. Of course, family members and friends are going to be free therapy, but don't be fucking cheap. Go out there and get the help that you need and speak to somebody and focus on your mental health. I always like to end a segment, and this segment is really quick. And as always, if you guys have a story that you do wish to share, but you don't want to share your name, your location, or any of that, but you want to share your story, definitely go on the website, www.femnaturelle.com, and definitely click on Share My Story, and you can type your whole entire story in there, and I will read it on air and give a brief little comment of my thoughts and my opinions. So, as I always like to end, thank you guys for listening. And as always, love yourself, voice yourself, and be yourself. Till the next podcast. Thanks for tuning in to Femme Parler Podcast. If you want to continue the conversation or share your takeaways, I want to hear from you. Head on over to the website or join our Facebook community and comment your favorite part of the show or share your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Chat with you next week.